I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're talking about Bravery, Thunderstorms, the dark and heartwarming lessons in Amanda Cooper's amazing children's books, What Should Cookie Do? Thunderstorms, and What Should Cookie Do? The Dark. These delightful stories are designed to help kids conquer their fears through relatable characters and interactive moments with their caregivers. If you're looking for a fun and empowering way to help children face their anxieties, these books are the perfect guide. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing books. The links are below this interview. Amanda, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Good to be here.
This is a great collection of stories for children. Is this going to be a series, I presume? You got two so far, more coming? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. I have plans up here for two more. They all involve my dog Cookie. It's a 4-book series. The next one is going to be What Should Cookie Do? The New Baby. So that would be about bringing a new baby into a home. That happens for children. And it's a big thing that can be a little scary and they don't know what to do. So my plan is to write to where Cookie can help them be brave during that transition. And then the last one might be kind of hard for me to write, but it is called What Should Cookie Do? Or actually, I'm not sure about the title, but Cookie Says Goodbye, something like that, because we have recently lost a pet. And it just, it dawned on me, that's something that children have to learn how to deal with. So I might close up this little series with that one. That would be hard for me to write, but I think I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, over time, it'll get easier. I lost my precious dog, Shadow, 2 years ago, and I still miss him. We've got a plaque in the backyard. When I'm walking my other dogs, we always walk over and say hi to Shadow. It's like losing a family member. It really is. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes.
What inspired you to write about children's fears and insecurities?
Well, I am a retired elementary school teacher. And personally, I was scared of thunderstorms in the dark as well. And I've had a lot of children come across my path as a teacher who don't really have the support they need to know how to react in certain situations or how to deal with their feelings, their big feelings. So just over my 21 years of teaching, and I have a creative mind, so a lot goes on in there. And these stories have been floating around in my mind for a while. And having retired to take care of my grandchildren, I've had time to put them down on paper. But I just really feel like an adult sitting with a child and discussing these things, children, they understand so much more than we give them credit for. And these books are I read them with my grandchildren and it just turns out that they're real good books to interact with. You ask questions and the child can answer and the child can ask you questions about it. And, what would you do is in each one of my books. What would you do if you were scared of thunderstorm or the dark? And it just opens up that communication. These days, children are on media things an awful lot, and there's not a lot of interaction between children and adults, children and children, any of that. And I guess I'm old school, but I believe in that, and I advocate that for families to interact with their children. And if it's through a book, that's even better.
Yeah, obviously will provoke conversations if you're reading about thunderstorms, if you're reading about dogs or the dark or whatever it might be. What are some of the lessons you feel children and parents should be aware of when it comes to dealing with childhood fears? I'm still afraid of the dark, by the way.
Right. Well, I still don't like thunderstorms, but I deal with it a little
Especially in
differently.
Georgia, they're fierce. Yeah, you get that green lightning and all
exactly.
that. Yeah.
In both of these, I geared toward the positive. Like for the dark, Cookie's afraid of the dark, and it's nighttime, and so her parents, who are me and my husband, we have told her different ways to think about something different, think about things that she likes to do. For example, she likes to play with her her siblings, the other dogs in the house. And so,
Mhm.
we give her the advice to think about doing that. When you're scared, think about doing something that you like to do, whether it be with your friends or your family, or something you just would prefer to do. And then, your mind gets off of it, because you don't have room in your mind
Mhm.
for positive thoughts and negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So if we can just fill up our heads with the positive thoughts, even as adults, it kind of chases away the negative stuff and gets you through whatever it is.
Exactly. It's a good distraction. It's a good lesson in positivity. Like you said, it's hard to have both thoughts in your head at the same time. So if you focus on the positive, it will be less frightening for children. What was it like for you writing these books? Did they come easily? Did you have to toil over them for hard hours? Tell us a little bit about the writing process.
Well, with my first book, and that's the one with What Should Cookie Do, Thunderstorms,
Hmm.
that particular book was in my head for a very, very long time.
Hmm.
My last, 4 years of teaching, I think it was just floating around and perfecting, marinating, I guess.
Hmm.
And then, like I said, when I retired, I needed to fill my time with something. And I
Hmm.
said, I'm going to try this. This has been a
Yeah.
bucket list for me, and I think I'm going to try it. And I wrote it down and I sent it into a publisher, and they liked it.
Great.
I was surprised and excited, and it just kind of encouraged me to do it some more. So before my first one was even done being published and out on the market, I already had my second one written down, ready to go.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about the main character, Cookie.
So Cookie came to live with us about 9 years ago.
Mhm.
My husband was on the way from work one day, and he saw a puppy just running down a busy highway,
Hmm.
pulling a leash. She was connected to a leash. And so he pulled off and opened the truck door, and the dog jumped in, and
Wow.
he brought her home, and she's been Cookie Cooper ever since. We tried a little bit trying to figure out who she belonged to, because she did have a leash,
Right.
but no one ever came forward. So she's been our little Cookie since then. And we named her Cookie because she's black and white, like an Oreo
Mhm.
cookie, kind of colored up. But there was a cat already in the neighborhood named Oreo, and our kids said, well, we can't name her Oreo. So we decided to do Cookie.
Well, guess who named their dog Oreo? That's my dog's name.
Uh-oh,
I've got a
no.
little black and white
Your
Jack
dog is
Russell Terrier
Oreo.
named Oreo. And it's such a cute name for a dog, Cookie or Oreo, because they're adorable and you want
Awesome.
to eat them
Yeah.
all up, that's for sure. Tell us a
Right.
little,
Right.
tell us about your vision for the series. Could you see it possibly becoming a series of videos or a TV show or something like that?
Wow. So I haven't thought that big.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know this was going to be as it is. So
Mhm.
it's all just been a pleasant surprise for me. But I can see it, and that's
Yeah.
something we need for our children. Is we need what I like to call soft shows for them to
Yeah.
watch. Sometimes the shows, not that they're bad shows, but there's just so much going on and so much information and so much dialogue, and you know the little ones get a little, they just stare out in space, like
Yeah.
nothing's going on. And when my kids were little, we had what I called soft shows. And so, to make a long story short, I can see where my books might could become something soft like that for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
could
with
see
and as
that
much as
too.
kids watch TV, yes, as much as kids watch TV, I think it would be a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Finally, let me ask you what you hope parents and children take away from your books.
Well, obviously, they're going to take away two different perspectives.
Mhm.
Um, the children, I hope, take away um, that it's okay to ask questions if you're scared about something. It's okay to talk about it. I don't want them to be afraid to bring it to whoever their adult is.
Mhm.
Hopefully, they're not with someone who might belittle them for their fears. Um, so I would like to think that they could remember what being brave is, and some of
Mhm.
the little suggestions that I put in each book, that they may take that away and try it.
Mhm.
If they come across an instance where they're scared and they know they need to be brave about something, they may remember something from my book and say, I think I'm going to try this.
Mhm.
And then on the other end of it, realize they are brave. They are able to do it. So that's what I want the kids to take away.
Mhm.
And I want to add this little story. A teacher
Hmm.
friend of mine bought my book and read it to her students, and she videoed it and showed it to me. And it just made me cry because
Yeah.
the kids' interaction when the teacher was reading the book was exactly what I had in my head, what I had
Hmm.
hoped would it be. And, they were raising their hands, giving suggestions about what they might do. And one of them even had a necklace on that had brave, the word brave, their parent had given
Mm.
them. And they're like, I'm brave. And my mother gave me, it was awesome. It made me cry.
That's
Um,
great. That's great.
yeah. But with parents or the caregiver or whoever it is, the child's adult is what I like to say. I think that I would like for them to take away the feelings that they had when they were interacting with their child,
Hmm.
realizing, um, what an impact that they can have on their child.
Yeah.
Um, Kids watch us. They watch everything we do. They watch the way we react to things. They watch how we, deal with things, and they learn it from us.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they'll take away, this is a good way. This is a positive way to help our children.
Absolutely. I think it's a very empowering message, and I think it'll help kids, and it'll definitely provoke a great dialogue between parent, caregiver, and child, no doubt as well. The books we've been talking about today are wonderful. They're called What Should Cookie Do? Thunderstorms, and What Should Cookie Do? The Dark. And could be an endless series. There's going to be 4 books in
Could
the
be.
series. So what should Cookie do? I think there's somebody under the bed. There's a bunch of
Right,
stuff that kids
right.
are afraid of. I think there's somebody in the closet, so
You're right. I mean, it
yeah,
could go. I'll take however far it goes. We'll see.
exactly, exactly. These are delightful stories that are designed to help kids conquer their fears through relatable characters and interactive moments with their adults. If you're looking for a fun and empowering way to help children face their anxieties, these books are the perfect guide. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
I enjoyed talking with you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.